Time to get up, kids. Gotta go see what those windows have in store for us. Alright, let's take a look around. Looks like we can reach that box if we come in through that top window. And we're gonna need that box to get Yorda up to those doors. Gotta get this just right. Don't want to overshoot it. Oh, so close. Oh, this room certainly seems to have plenty to look at. Between that waterfall, the open window, that chain to the lower area. Looks like we got a lot to do in here. Personally, I prefer to go up before I go down. Once again, going up before we go down. No. Don't want to leave Yorda behind. Now through here, we can get up to the base of that waterfall. Down there's a pair of doors that we need to get Yorda to, but I'd be willing to bet good money that Yorda can't swim. Gonna have to find some way to stop that waterfall. If we're lucky, its source will be on the other side of that door we found up there. Let's not get too far ahead of her. Yep, looks like there's a water wheel over there. Might be able to shut that down. Now there's a switch up there. Some sort of weird mechanism there. There's that ladder that'll get us up to the switch. Now for this part, you have to exercise great caution when moving. The directional buttons that you have to push to move Ico are relative to the camera. So sometimes in order to move to Ico's left, you'll have to push up. And the problem with this is that if you push the direction that is down relative to him, it will cause him to drop off the pole and fall to his death. So you need to take this nice and slow. Well, it didn't exactly open the door, but Maybe we can use that thing to get up to that high window. Now here's the second really fiddly thing we have to contend with today. This mechanism did not actually exist in the initial release of this game. It was added in for the PlayStation 3 re-release that we're playing right here. I have a feeling that it wasn't tested quite as thoroughly as it should have been, because the margin for timing your jumps is very, very strict. There's no real indication of exactly when you need to start your jump, or more importantly, when it needs to be completed. You just sort of have to guess and keep trying until you make it. Eventually, though, you will manage to make it. Well, it definitely looks like we can turn that wheel up top to close the gate. That should shut off the waterfall for us. But first things first, we need to get Yorda out here. There we go, tucked away into the corner. And here's our next fiddly little thing. Once again, the timing on this little puzzle is very, very strict. You have to jump off of this part of the water wheel onto the flat parts. Those are the only parts that don't have the spikes and are therefore grabbable. You then have to pull yourself up and jump to the bar on the wall right there before the wheel turns so far that you fall off of it. The timing is very, very tight, and in order to make it, you actually have to jump slightly earlier than you think. Unfortunately, that slightly is also very, very tight. But it is perfectly doable. Alright, so now that we've shut off the water, we should be able to get to the lower area. But before we move on, there's actually a secret hidden in this area. Can you see it? How about now? How about now? Now, of course, what do we do with this thing? Well, for that, we have to move on to the second part of the secret. Can you see it? It's right there in front of you. Now, down in here, there's nothing really obvious for us to work with, but, well, we've seen that plate in the center of the room before. And here's our fourth and final very fiddly thing for this area. Completing this secret is simple. All you have to do is get the ball in the cup. Since there's no targeting reticule or anything like that, you really have to sort of eyeball it. There's a trick to making this much easier, and I'll show it off later, but for now, we're going to do things the hard way. I thank you for being patient with me. And our reward is something rather wicked looking. Of course, I can't help but wonder who threw that. Oh well, I suppose it's not that important. Now, the way forward is quite clear, but dealing with all that fiddly nonsense takes a lot out of you. Time for a nap. Sleep tight, everyone.